Hope y'all enjoy it. Let's get into it. Let's go. Alright, so boom. We're at the tuning exam. It's Sasuke versus Gaara. So they start walking up close to the middle. Sasuke walking up, Gaara walking up. And look at this nigga Gaara devious ass face. The fight begins. The referee backs up and Gaara starts spawning that sand out of his gourd on his back. Sasuke notices this is shit and he knows what's about to go down. And then nigga Gaara starts tweaking out. Then nigga got PTSD or some shit. He drops his sand on the floor and he starts looking at Sasuke as if it's his fault that he dropped that shit. And then Sasuke throws some bullshit at him. He easily blocked this shit. Like shiver me timbers. This nigga Gaara starts launching sand at him. Sasuke throws more shurikens. And then boom. This nigga gets caught by his sand. And he tries to punch that shit away. He tries to punch on Gaara. Does nothing. And he teleports behind him. To Gaara's dismay, this nigga starts charging up this mean ass right hook and starts giving him PTSD. Sending this nigga flying. Rock Lee looking at him like he stole his whole flow and cadence. That shit crazy. Cut back to the fight. Gaara's mad as shit. Straight faced as hell. Sasuke looking at him like who the fuck he's staring at. So he starts running at him. This nigga Gaara's shocked. He already getting bombarded again. Out of nowhere. Teleports behind him. And then he hits him with this goofy ass kick, sending him flying. At this point, everyone knew this nigga was washed. This nigga is going outside right now. So he's tight. Sasuke runs at him again. He starts running circles around him. Gaara don't know where the fuck he's at. And then Sasuke comes from under and he hits her with another kick. And he gut checks the fuck out of him. We cut to Gaara's brother. He's mad disappointed. He don't know what the fuck Gaara's doing. Gaara's on the floor now. We cut to the crowd. They're mad disappointed. Look at this nigga. Gaara starts booting up this sand shield. And Sasuke knows the nigga about to start camping crazy. So he starts rushing it. Gaara's brother already knows what's about to happen. So Sasuke boots up a punch. And then he swings straight into that sand shit. And guess what? Nothing happened. He holds that pose and he starts bleeding out of nowhere. He backs up and we see that this shield looks just like Bowser. And it starts retracting back to Gaara. It starts forming a full sphere. And Sasuke already know he's gonna have to break through that shit. So we cut to Shikamaru and Naruto talking. He's like, how the fuck is the nigga camping in the middle of a match? Kashi reminds Naruto that he's in the stands for a reason. So we pan back to Sasuke. And Sasuke starts locking in. Sasuke starts rushing in. He throws his kunais. I don't know when the fuck this nigga's gonna learn. How many times does he have to do it? Anyways, he's in the air, he's falling back down to the ground, he keeps rushing, and Gaara keeps spamming these attacks from the inside. Pause. He makes Sasuke retreat backwards, and Sasuke getting tight, like why this nigga camping? So he lands on top of it, and then he does some acrobatics to get all the way back to the wall. He starts moonwalking on this bitch, and he starts booting up a Chidori. We see Gaara with his eye closed and he opens it to see Sasuke. This nigga looks menacing as shit. He's charging up this big ass Chidori on the wall. And this nigga means business. So he pulled this shit back and then he starts rushing straight down, causing mad property damage. And he causes an explosion on the ground, then runs straight towards Gaara. And we see all the way up the nigga that's overseeing this match, mad as shit, causing mad damage. Sasuke doing too much. Sasuke starts weaving, and he sends this Chidori straight through that sand shield. And on the outside, it looks like nothing happened. Sasuke keeps piercing, and we see the crowd is shocked. And this Gaara ate that entire Chidori, and this is where niggas thought he was actually cooking. Sasuke finally got this nigga that was camping the whole match, and everyone is shocked as fuck. And you see this nigga Gaara is mad now. He starts launching his Jinchuriki out. And we see this ugly ass tail retreating back inside of the same sand shield. Sasuke is looking shocked because he knows this shit is actually about to get started. Cause Gaara's been holding back.
What is that?
And we see this shit moving inside of the sand shield.
What is that?
And it starts cracking. The sand starts spreading all over the floor. And Gaara's standing still. And we see this nigga is still holding his chest from what just happened when he got stabbed with Chidori. And now Sasuke look at this nigga like he knows he's actually about to start trying. Sasuke is looking down and the Gaara's looking back at him. And now they're in the middle of the forest. And we see Gaara can't take this anymore, so he falls down and he starts cracking up. and he starts really tweaking out. This nigga is losing it. He's fighting demons right now. And Sasuke sees this nigga and he knows this nigga on some demon timing. So he launches straight at Sasuke and he tries to hit him with his Jinchuriki. Sasuke evades it, but this nigga Sasuke is out of breath now. He dodged a bullet with that shit. So he's out of breath and he's injured now. And he looks back and sees Gaara. He weaves it. And he really starts questioning what he should do. This nigga Gaara is literally drooling right now. If that was me, I would have given up the fight because this nigga is about to kill him. So Sasuke is now on this branch and he starts to rush straight towards Gaara. And he gets hit straight with that and sent flying, but it was a shadow clone. And this nigga still with these kunais throws it and it does nothing like before. This nigga has to be retarded. Sasuke looks down and he sees they're coming right back at him. They literally break the tree in half. I would have been out of there. Sasuke is now looking back. Gaara is losing control of his body. And this nigga is drooling all over the place again. Sasuke remembers Itachi and now he has to lock in. And then we see him start booting up another Chidori. And he gets more PTSD, which gives him even more power. And so he holds this charging it. And he is locked in now. He starts thinking about his next move while talking to Gaara. And then Gaara just launches at him. So Sasuke has to as well. And they're flying in the air and then they clash, causing a huge flashbang. And Sasuke went straight through his Jinchuriki. And he looks back and then nigga Gaara is on the floor. Sasuke thinks he's won, but he knows not to let his guard down. Gaara starts getting up and he's ready for round 2, but he's holding his shoulder. And bro, we really gotta look at this ugly ass nigga, bro. This nigga looks so diabolical. But anyways, he starts leaking out more sand and he starts forming a tail for his Jinchuriki. And then he pulls himself back and then he launches straight forward towards Sasuke. Sasuke instantly activates his shit. He weaves it. He's hanging upside down. He's giving Gaara a mean ass blank stare. He boots up a fireball jutsu and he sends it at Gaara. And Gaara goes straight through that shit, but he starts blocking himself. And Sasuke is getting tight now. Gaara throws a punch, and so he blocks that punch, but he goes flying all the way back into another tree. Sasuke has steam coming out of him like he's a goddamn titan. And then we look at Gaara, who still got mad dew on his face. They start having a staring contest, and they're just looking at each other. And Sasuke gets up, and he starts booting up another Chidori. And this time you can see he really got mad anger behind that. So when they jump at each other, he's trying mad hard, but he loses it because he's so injured. And then he just lands. At this point, the fight is over. We see Sasuke's hunching over, and Gaara starts to turn off his Jinchuriki. When we go back to Sasuke, he has his curse mark activated with this Chidori out still. Sasuke is too fatigued now. He falls down and the fight is over and he gives up. And this nigga Gaara is still trying to sneak him while he's down. And then out of nowhere, Naruto comes and kicks him out of the way. Because he just bailed out Sasuke. So you might be wondering, why is the video titled "That Time When Gaara Got Bodied by Sasuke?" Because he embarrassed him in front of his whole family tree.